Has everybody noticed that lately when you get in the chat, for some reason it's showing our YouTube handles instead of our regular names? I just noticed that the other day and I thought, oh, that's a little weird, but that's the way it goes. Okay, so we're going to make snowflakes today. Round. And I have lots of blanks. And these blanks are by Beadsmith. They come in 3 different sizes. Snowflake blank. And they come as 3 3/4, 4.5, and 6 inch. The first one we're going to do is probably going to be a 6 inch because we're going to use these peppermint candy pieces in it. Ah, you have a show tonight, Heather? Good. Excellent. I hope you do good. So anyway, I have some of the 6 inch. That's this size here. It's a pretty good size. This is one of the 4.5 inches. And then we also have, this is the 3.5. So they're pretty small. The 3.5 is. And we will probably either work with the 4.5 or the 6 inch today, though we could work with any of them because I do have all of the sizes. I think we'll start with that, with the 6 inch and make the peppermint candy one. And then we'll see if we have time to make some other ones. And if so, we'll decide what size we want to make. Now, if I remember right, this little guy is one of the small ones, the 3.5. See, I made these with this one with the candies that were in my Randy's Christmas box last year. So I think it turned out really pretty. I made these for my family, so everybody got one of those. So let's turn down and we'll get started on these. And we'll see how they go. So we'll just get one of these out. And incidentally, yes, you can make the frame yourself. I have done so before. In fact, I did so last year in one of my videos just to show that you could. And what you need to do is cut 3 pieces of wire, full length, and then some little wire, and then you wrap it from one to the next to the next. And then you do that like 4 or 5 times till it holds it in place. If you wrap too many, it starts to look like a spider web, though. So, hey, Georgina. So I have brought some little bicones in both white and red. Then we have some other red beads as well as our peppermint candies. Now the peppermint candies are probably going to go right in the center of each one. And the next thing you need to decide is a pattern for them. And quite frankly, a lot of times I will make, oh, it's stuck on this little seed bead. I will make varying patterns. I don't always make all the arms be the same. I might make 2 of them be the same or 3 of them be the same. And then the others will be different. So what we're going to do is we're going to decide, see, we want it to be about right here, and you have to leave about a finger's width to do your roll at the end. So do remember to do that when you're making your snowflake, because you need to roll it up. This is actually sort of like memory wire. It's hard and it's not easy to bend, but or to roll, but it does work. So I bought these little guys because, quite frankly, these little bicones are best for right here in the middle, because where they come together, they're going to hit each other. And they're going to try and create room. So you need something tiny down here at the base. So it will go, since they're bicones, they have the sides that go in easily. I'm not going to put too many on here because, as you see, when it just turned, it went and fell. So we're going to put this on, and then I've got some other red beads right here. Actually I have a ton of red beads around me here, but I have a whole shelf of red beads here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put out 12 of these. Because I'm going to probably put these on twice. And then maybe some drooks. Or some English cut. We got lots of reds. I have quite a collection of red beads here. So no problem with getting some red beads out. And since we're going with peppermint, I'm going to want this one to be red and white. So I'm going to go up here and get my white bin. I don't have as many white beads because I'm not a big collector of white beads, and white beads are not always easy to find anyway. So these sort of look like snowflakes, so maybe we'll put some of those out. And we have these little rice whites, which are a very definite white. They're like a milk glass. So then we just have to decide on a pattern. Now we can't go really big down here because we're going to smack into each other, just like the little red ones do if we do. So we're going to take this white one, I think, and then English cut, and maybe our crystal. Now, if you want to put spacers in here, you can. I usually do, but I'm not going to right now, I don't think. I might, but I don't think so. So now this is a nice arm. It's pretty. I think I need something else here, though. We do have a little bit more space. So I'm going to take, I think, this off from right here. I'm going to put these guys on. Now, if you wanted to, you could make each and every leg be separate somehow. There's 6 legs, as everybody can see. Now, Heather says she's going to make some with her for her family with her birthstone colors, which sounds really cool. And something you could do with that, if you wanted to, is since there's 6 legs, you could do a birthstone color for each family member. So, because we need to wrap this, I'm going to get my round nose pliers, and we're going to. I used to use memory wire pliers to do this, but I gotta tell you, this wire is really stiff, and I have been known to break my memory wire pliers trying to get these done. So, just a little warning if you're doing them to be careful with your pliers because they will, it will try and break them. And this doesn't want to get that last little bit in there. Come on, we need that last little bit. A lot of times when I'm making loops, I will use my bell making pliers. I don't for these because they will bend them, unfortunately. Come on, give me that last little bit. Okay. Oops, come here, you. Okay. Now I've decided I will make 3 arms the same and then 3 arms different. So because I want 3 arms the same, I'm going to go and I'm going to drop over to, I'm going to skip one and go over to the next one. And we'll just build these two exactly like we built our first one. And like I say, I frequently use spacers in these as well as like I do any of my pieces, but I decided not to on this one. So, oops, dropped my bead. There we go. Come on, baby. There we go. Now this one you have to be careful on right here when you do this because you've got that little crystal at the end, and you know, you don't have to put a crystal at the end. You could put like a regular bead there, but if any bead that's glass can be broken, so you got to be careful of that. So there's 2 arms done. Now we'll make our third up here, And then we'll change the pattern up to make the other three. Let's go with this one. Stop sliding. Three that are the same. Now we're going to make the other three the same, but we'll make the same as each other, but we're not going to make them the same as these. So we're going to drop a white one in here. Then I have to decide what I want to go to next. I have an extra one of these guys. Hey, Cynthia. I got these at Michael's. They look like candy corn as well as the peppermint candies. I never have. You could. I'd use super glue, just because you got that little point and you can put it in there. I never have done so, but you could. Just have to decide what you want to do, of course. So this little white one reminds me of a snowflake a little bit. Let's see if I'm going to need more. Don't have enough space for more of these, but we probably could put on now, ordinarily I'd put that little white one back on here, but you know what? I don't think we have enough room because we do have to do our twist. Let's see what these guys measure out to so we can see about how much room we definitely have, because that's about the most we'd want. So this is about 2.5, and this is just shy of 2.5. So maybe that little white one will go on there all right. Let's measure it again, see how good we are. It seems, it's going to be a close call. But let's find out. We may just have to make our loops just a little bit smaller. Say we're good. Looks like I'm going to need to get a few more of these little red ones. It's all right, we can do that. So this stroke, our white snowflakey looking one. This little guy, and I do need to get some more of these because it looks like this is the last one, but I think they're in that box, so it's all right. Come on, peppermint candy, where's your hole? There we go. This is going to be pretty, I think. Okay. Now we just have one more to go as far as the snowflake itself is concerned. Hi, Tina. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. So anyway, we want, oh, there's one of these little white ones. We might as well just grab that one on the bench. So now as you see, these are now butted up against each other down here on the bottom to make a little pattern, but at the same time, they're not leaving a lot of space down by the wire spacer. Come on, you go on. There we go. And lastly, come on, one last little white bead here. There is going to be what it looks like once we finish this, do this last thing. And then we'll have 2 more steps. These are steps you don't have to take, but I always do when I'm making these. And that is making a hook for it to hang from. And then I'm also going to find a charm to hang on one of our loops here. So they'll be right across from each other. The hook on the, so it goes to the top, and the charm so it hangs to the bottom. So there is our snowflake. Let's push our beads aside here so they're not getting in our way. So there's our snowflake. I wonder, let's see if I can get in there a little. Let's see about trying Mary's little trick with a little bit of glue by the beads to keep them from swiveling around so much. We'll just put one little drop of Loctite right there at where they join the wire. Because most of these lampwork beads have a slightly irregular hole at the beginning. So we should be able to, come on, baby. Get it drop out and just stick it right there at the hole. Well, of course, that one wants to be not have an easy spot to get to. Now, I'm not sure I got glue on all of them because I wasn't paying enough attention to which ones I did. But let's let this sit here for just a second and let the glue we put right there on that end dry. And what I'm going to do is decide which 2 loops I like the best. And this is where we're going to hang our charm and our hook. It's probably going to be these 2. So what we need to make a hook is either some 18 gauge is good. And I have some, just happen to have some right here beside me. So we just need a couple inch hook of wire. So we'll just cut off just a little bit here. We don't need a lot, just enough to make a loop. So what I do is I take my bell making pliers and I make a small loop on one side This is more decorative than anything right here. And then we have one on the other side as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wire mandrel and I'm going to put this against one of my spots here. And we're just going to bring it around like so. And I think I want this one to be just a teeny bit smaller. So we'll bring it around here, pull her like so. Now we have a hook. And so we can go over our tree with our hook. And we're going to give this a little bit of a kick right here. So. Then we'll just open this one end up, slide our snowflake on, and now it has a hook. Ta-da! So it can hook in your tree. I'm not sure that's going to work too well. If I'd put it on the wire before I put the bead on, it would have worked fine, probably, but I didn't do that, so it's probably not going to hold. Now I need to find a charm for the bottom here. Now, I used to have a whole bunch of snowflake charms, and one of the things I do have well, come on, open up here, are come here, baby, come out of there. Some crystal snowflakes. Oop. Now I made me some jump rings the other day. I'm not sure that they'll work on this, but we'll find out here. If they'll go through our crystal, then we can just come on, baby, just that last little bend through. I think it needs a little more swivel than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a triangular hook or wire. And in order to do that, you need just a teeny bit of wire. You don't even need an inch. You just need tiny, tiny bit. This would work if you had a scrap that you needed to make something with. Now I'm going to go try and sort of find the middle of this and bend it down so it makes a triangle shape. Like so, see? Now what we'll do again is we'll go into here, and I'm actually going to use these guys because they're consistent size, and we're going to just take this and bend it over. Then we'll do the same on the other side. And now these are going to try and meet, but they're a little bit too big. As you can see, they won't quite come together. So what I'm going to do then, because we want them to come together, unless we spread them a little bit more, which we may do because this snowflake's a little bit big. So then we just push these up like so. So we make this triangular hook. Where did it go? There it is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull this apart, put the snowflake piece in one side, and it's going to be too long. It's going to hang out. I can see that already. So we're going to cut just a teeny bit off of both sides. You don't want to take too much off because you got to have enough to go through your crystal so it'll hold on. Okay, so we're going to put this through the crystal on one side, like so. Then we're going to go through our hook. And we're going to bring it back together. Come on, you. I will say it's a little bit unwieldy to do these when, when you got them spread apart like this on these. Okay, they're going to be a bane in my butt. So let's bring you back together as much as possible. Okay. Now let's see if I can get the crystal between the prongs here. Whoa, careful, Rose. Don't want to break things. Which one? This one over here. Back through here. Put our crystal on. And then we need to squish it back together to hold our prongs inside the crystal. There we go. All done. So there's our candy cane one all done. And we have a crystal at the base, a crystal snowflake here at the base. Straight memory wire? I can't say that I have. Hey, Kimberly, you were at your post-op appointment. How'd that go? So there's our first little snowflake. Ta-da. So I like it. I think it turned out really nicely. That one wants to turn just a little bit. The others are behaving pretty good. So we have our red candy cane one. We're going to put this aside for right now. I think I'll just hang it up here on some of my wires so that it's sort of out of our way. Come here, you. Go right there. Oop. So that was one of the 6-inch ones. That's this size. And there are, like I said, numerous sizes. There are 3 different sizes. Let's see. These are the tinies. I don't use the tinies as much because, well, they're tiny. Here's a medium one. Glad you like it. Do I make them wintry colored ones? Yeah, I do. And I actually should have got some of the light blue pieces, beads out, which I didn't, but I can easily go and fetch some quickly. I have make a blue and white one, shall we? Actually, yes, they are Beadsmith, the forms. I think I will. Now, somebody said they wanted to see the form, the small form. I'll pull one out in a minute, as soon as I decide on what beads I want to use here. Okay. Oops, you're not close all the way. There we go. Okay. Well, we could use all of those, or I've got some really icy blue ones here. which are sort of cool. Let's start with this. The smallest frame is, just a sec, let me see. Somebody asked about the smallest frame. I think that's this one. See, it's about an inch smaller than these are. So that's the smallest one. I think this one up here is actually probably this medium size. Yeah, it is. See, this is smaller than this is. It wouldn't have the turns in it to make this one. So this is the smallest, this is the medium, and then there's the large, which we made the red one from. So these are actually just, these aren't bicones, they're just little tiny rondelles, but I think they might still work. Let's see what two beside each other do. They're competing a little bit, but not too horrible. Actually, I think I'll just... That's better. So we'll just use the white bicone with the blue beside on the other ones. So let's... Okay, that's going to be too much because by the time I get my bicone on, there won't be any turn space here. So what we need to do is either leave our little bicone off, which is fine, we can do that, or we need to shorten this up somehow. I don't think I have any of these cobalts in a smaller size. If I did, I would just switch those. I think we're just going to just leave the white one off. So there's one leg. And we're going to do this the same with three of one kind and three of a different kind. We got the white one here, so we're going to go with this over here. And then maybe we'll try this ice blue one. This is what I'm going to use for the focal here. Now we need more. So let's try one of these white ones. I think that might work. So let's get this one turned. So we're going to have our two patterns like this. So we want to go every other one like we did the other way. So now I will warn anybody who hasn't used these snowflakes before that they're like, the wire is a lot like memory wire. It's really, really strong. So on the other hand, you can break them because I have done that before in the past when I was turning my circles like that, and the circle pops just snapped off, which was rather disconcerting, but happens. Your internet's being wonky, Mary? Hey, Brandy. She's not talking means she's thinking. Yeah, that's probably true. These ones, yeah, they're sort of like milk glass. They're very pretty. So my original thinking was to put pearls on this one, and then I forgot as I was going along. But these all work. Last one. Come on, you go on there. Now we want this frosty one. One of these two remaining white ones I have up here. This big guy. Ta-da! Now this is the medium size. Now I'm going to bring the big one back down here so we can see the difference in sizes here. Come here, baby. So there's the big one. And this is the smaller one. Regular size beads, Mary. Yes, I do have my beads organized by colors. Here, I'll show you. I just have them in boxes in all different colors. And all the colors are then over here on my shelf, sort of in order, though some of them aren't because I have too many, and so they're extra spots taken up. So we need to make the hook for this one and find, I do have more of these little crystals. If we decide to put a crystal on the bottom, we'll have to make another one of the triangular rings here, jump rings. Had a little bit of suede lace left from my FOC bracelet I made yesterday on Members Life. See it? Isn't it cute? I like it. Anyway, so we'll get some more 18 gauge and make a hook for this one. And then we have to decide on if we want to put the snowflake crystal down here or if we want to find a snowflake charm. I do have snowflake charms, so we could do that. We just have to find it. And so we just need some 18 gauge wire. Just a hunk. Depending on how big you want your hook to be is how much wire you want to cut. I mean, if you want a small one, you can cut just a teeny bit. If you want a bigger one, then of course you want to cut some more. So we wrap both ends to make one's for the hook, one's for just a little bit of decoration. I think I cut more this time than I did the last time, but that's all right. We'll just have a slightly bigger hook. It doesn't matter. And if I wanted it to be smaller, I can always trim it down. So this one has its hook on. And if I wanted to, since this is bigger and this is the smaller one, I could change my hook since this one is obviously smaller. So, and that's just as easy as you change any. Just open up your hook here, pull it off, and come on, off you go. Switch them out. I make a hook for each one of these so that they're easy to hook on your tree and you don't have to worry about getting a hook made or getting one of the commercial ones. They have their own hook when anybody buys them. So now this one has the smaller hook. And we'll put the larger hook over here on our peppermint candies. Now you wouldn't want to open this up too many times because, well, like any wire item. It gets a little weaker as you open it. And you can, if you want these work hardened, you can always work harden them to make sure they stay a little stiffer. So this one has the crystal, little crystal snowflake. This one doesn't have anything yet. We're going to find something and put on it in a minute here. I just saw a snowflake the other day. Where did I see that at? But it can be any charm you want to use. I have a little so I was going to make these into earrings, but I do have a little, well, it's gold, a little mitten charm we could put down here on this guy if we wanted to. Though it's red and our piece is blue. But have I noticed a ballpark price? I can't say that I have. I just do them like I do everything else, price them by how much it costs me to make them. Last year, my customer who always buys one bought the most expensive one. So it was a large one. I have a lady that comes to my show I do with my Artisan Craftsman Club for Christmas every year, who always buys a snowflake for her son every year. So actually, the first year she bought them, she bought 6 of my smaller ones. And ever since then, she's come and bought whichever one she figures he'll like best, whether it's a large one or a medium one. So my snowflakes sell pretty good. They sell pretty good. And no matter what price I have on them, they seem to sell. So, but so there is, I need to find a charm for this. I know I saw a snowflake the other day. Where did I see it? I have a whole box of snowflakes and such, but I'm not sure where I've got it at. So I have to find that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Georgina. Question is, where do I have those out at? I had a whole batch of snowflakes that I bought specifically for icicles. And so it's time to find where I stuffed them at, obviously. I know I saw them when I was cleaning up the other day. But since we don't want to be searching forever for the snowflakes, I will probably find it later and put that snowflake charm on the base of this snowflake. I do know I have some here. I actually have but they look like, these are wine glass charms, and I've got both this style and this style somewhere. I just have to find where I put them. Also, because this one is blue and white, if I wanted to, instead of putting a snowflake on it, I could find one of my little snowmen and put on it. There's all kinds of options when you're making stuff for yourself. I could, if I wanted to, just take it off this wine glass charm and put it on there, but I'm not going to. So anyway, there is the large size and the medium size. I don't know that we'll make a small one. We could. We have, well, we're over our hour, but what else is new? I'm always over my hour. And Heather said she's not coming on today, so we don't have to worry about it. The small ones don't take very many beads, obviously, because of, you know, I've got more of those crystals like that. Let's put another crystal on this one. So we have our snowflake crystal. And it will sit down here. So we need to make another one of those little, the little triangular loops. If you'll recall, it's just a teeny weeny bit of wire. This is one of those things you could use when you have scrap wire, if you wanted to do that. I think I've got one of these a little longer than the other, and that's fine because I'll probably want to trim a little anyway. So we'll just trim it off right now. Oops, that one's got a longer leg than the other one, it looks like. Stop dropping it. Maybe not too bad. Now these are sort of like pinch bells, except for, of course, they're a little bit different shaped. So now we'll pull this apart, go on here. Put our crystal in here. Nope, I don't have it quite wide enough apart yet. And then pinch it so it goes in the hole on this side. It's not wanting to go in the hole. I have it obviously off from the other side. So There we go. Now she's on. So now we have a crystal on both of them here. Uh-oh, there goes the internet. So anyway, we have two snowflakes, one a medium with a snowflake crystal, one a large with the red beads with the snowflake crystal on the bottom. And do we want to take the time to make a small one? You've lost count. Yes, please make a small one. Okay, let's set these to aside. Get the tiny frames out. Now I will warn you, if I'm going to break one, it's going to be one of these little ones. Oops, you're a little bent. Fix yourself there. I have broke the small ones before. For some reason, when you wind them, sometimes the ends are a little brittle. So what we're going to go with this one, I think. Sounds like I have a kitty deciding to be sick. We're going to get some green. And we're going to do green and red for this one. You know, I was thinking I would do some red and green, and I'm thinking we'll put some pearls in the middle to add the white. Some white in. Come on. Now, these ones don't need nearly as many beads. There's not enough room to do a lot of stuff on these. So we're going to go with let's see how much room we need. Remember, you've got to leave enough room to do your turn, so it's got to be about that much. So I want a bigger red here, I think. Still could use bigger. Since I'm going to put the pearl on here, I'm thinking I may just put the white at the bottom too. Hey, Dawn. Good of you want to come on. Well, you know, Mary, I noticed mine go out for a minute there too, so I hope that's not something it wants to do all the time. Probably could have something small at the end here, but I'm not going to. Now, when I have a lot of extra space like this, I try to wrap it just a little bit extra. It's like so it's sort of like a split ring. Doesn't always work, but I try. Now, you can make them all the same. Like I said, all of your arms the same. So we could just make this all like this. Or we could sort of switch it off. So they're sort of opposite each other. I need to get some more of the little red one. Well, there's a little red one right there. But I'll show you what I mean by that. A red and a green, white, this pearl has a, oh, it looks like it's an extra bit of string. So then we could go every other one with these colors like this. I do, well, like I do with everything, I price them all individually. I don't have a general price for them, no. And as I was saying, I have some people that come back every year to get one or two of them. And sometimes they buy the most expensive one. I have one lady who bought 6 one year, so it's just one of those things. I don't know. So now we're at green. So we don't need the little greens. Okay, back to green. So yeah, I just price them just like I do everything. Go by how much it costs me to make them. And I've never had a problem selling them at my Christmas shows. They go. The kitty cats are My hubby got home from work and the kitty cats are bitching at him to feed him. And it never fails, no matter what time he gets home, whether it's early like nowadays, since he's an essential worker for the government, but they only have him work part of the day. They decide they need to be fed as soon as he gets home. So sometimes with these smaller ones, if I don't have a small charm, I won't put one on them. You don't have to put a charm on the bottom. In fact, you don't even have to wrap these. If you get some of those memory wire ends, the little balls that you can glue onto the bottom of memory wire stuff, you can use those on these. These pearls are got gunk in the inside. Excuse me. This one's going to be very Christmas colors. And now the last one. Oh yeah, this pearl had the end thread in it. I wonder if I can get it out easily. Come on, you come out. There we go. There's our little one. And I have a whole bunch of extra beads to put away. Let's get your But there's our tiny one. All finished. So, well, we need to put its hook on. And like I said, a lot of times when they're tiny like this, if I don't have a little charm, I won't bother to put one on. But we will make it a hook. Oh, lose my wire. That's not kosher. Since this is much smaller, I'm going to make it a smaller loop. Oh, stop bending sideways. Maybe a touch bigger. There we go. There's the little one. And I got a crud load of beads to put away. Okay, so there's the little one. Here's the medium. And here's the large. So see the difference in sizes there. Oh, I bet that was pretty, Dawn. She made them in sage, pink, and ivory with angels and lace. I bet that was very pretty. So we have small, medium, large. Like I said, if you wanted to put a small charm on the bottom of the tiny one, you know, obviously you can, but that would be all I put on it. I wouldn't want to put anything big so that it overpowered our snowflake. But there we go. And as I said, these are Beadsmith frames. Let's see if I can. This medium size is 4.5 inches. The small size is 3 3/4. And I believe the big one is 6. Yes, the big one is 6. These cost about, well, when I purchased them, there, Beadsmith Snowflakes, they were $5.99 for a package of 6 pieces of the big ones and $5.99 for a package of 7 pieces of the medium and $5.99 for 8 pieces of the small. So all sizes, those are the 3 sizes. And you can also get a package that comes, let's see if this is the paper. Yeah, this one cost me $5.99, but it came with 2 each, so 6 pieces total of the 3 3/4, 4.5, and 6 inch. So you can get one with just all the sizes if you want to. If you need if you just want to make a few of each size. So you can see they've made one here with white, blue, and green. So, and they have turned over their ends differently. See, I do a round end, but they've just turned them so that they're on the other side of the bead. I personally like the circular turn better than just a half turn because you're never sure if you're going to hold it in place. So 4 sizes, or 3 sizes, I should say. Let's turn up. Yeah, I do have the whole size, the whole family. So again, here is our large peppermint one. This is the first one we made today. We have a crystal snowflake on the bottom of it. Our second was our blue one, our blue and white one, winter colors, again with a crystal snowflake on the bottom. And then our little guy in Christmas colors with pearls. He's got a hair stuck on him. Now I haven't put a charm on him because if I'm going to, it's going to be a small snowflake down at the bottom, and I'll have to find that to do it. I haven't got one here with me right now. So that's our little guy. So, come on, little guy. Get on your ring better here. There we go. So. Anyway, that's our 3 snowflakes, all 3 sizes that you can make. And I hope you enjoyed making these with me. I think it's time for me to put the excess beads that I've got all over the place away. And we will see everybody, well, we'll see you on Monday. I am going to do a recorded video for tomorrow. And you love them all, Dawn? Yeah. Oh, you're going to make some to go with your Christmas goodies that you give your neighbors. Good idea. Good idea. So that's an excellent plan. So anyway, mix and match your beads, mix and match your legs. You can make them all identical. You can make them, as you know, none of these 3 had identical legs. They did have some identical beads. They were reversed. You can make each leg different. You can make each leg the same. It's entirely up to you what beads you want to use. Heck, if you wanted to, you could make yourself a psychedelic snowflake. The beads are entirely up to you. They're not hard to make. I just suggest you put a little bicone or a tiny bead, maybe a seed bead even, at the bottom so that they don't push away from the middle wires as much, because of course they will. They're fighting for space down there, the littlest beads down there at the bottom. So yeah, and remember to give yourself like a finger width of room at the end to do your little loop. And also remember, these are like memory wire. They are tough to turn, but you can do it. You know, if you can turn a memory wire end, you can do these. Simple. So anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed making these with me. I know I enjoyed making them. Like I said, I always make some every year because I have my Christmas show that I always take them to. And I usually sell, if not all of them, most of them. So, yeah. So anyway, snowflakes at this time of the year are, once we're getting a little late, and they're become very popular as we get closer to Christmas. And so I will also be making icicles pretty soon. The icicles, even though they don't sell for me as well as the snowflakes do. Though I made my mom one for Christmas once, and it was still in her window when I came to visit one February. So I tend to put crystals in my snowflakes, so they throw rainbows, so they're a lot of fun. Or not my snowflakes, but my icicles. So anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. I think we've had a lovely visit, and I hope you enjoyed making all 3 sizes of snowflakes with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.